So you want to be in Brentwood and you want to be close to everything? We've got the house for you. This is 1738 Fontanella Drive, and it is in the Tuscany Hills community here in Brentwood. I am Sean Larson with Compass Real Estate here in Middle Tennessee and the 38 Florida market, and we're going to do a tour of this home today and show you why it is such an awesome home. It is right here again in Tuscany Hills, and it is in the Cool Springs area, so you have everything available to you there. The community is adjacent to Jordan Elementary and the future middle school that's going to be on that premises. So we're going to show you how great this home today is. We're going to start with a little exterior and then pop inside and check out all the rest. So again, the home is just over 4,000 square feet. It's on about a half-acre lot here in Tuscany Hills. You've got 4 bedrooms and 4.5 baths. You've got the primary on the main level along with some living spaces. And just look how it presents. An existing home with just superior landscaping. I mean, look at that. We just had a little rain shower, so it even makes it pop even more. The community as a whole is awesome. You've got sidewalk lined streets. You've got the amenities of the pool. You've got a playground. The cool thing about this home is look at the different finishes on it. You know, you've got the brick, you've got some stone, you've got the standing seam metal roof accents. And it just all balances just to make the exterior interesting. So let's pop inside and check it out. On our way inside, let's just check out the parking situation here for a second, because something like this just really stands out. You know, some driveways are so small that you get a couple cars on them and you're already running into, shuttling issues. Here you have a huge parking pad right outside the 3-bay garage. And then you've got this front parking pad as well to hold several cars. Got the circular sidewalk leading to the home. So, whether you have guests or maybe you just have a handful of drivers in your home, you always want to be able to conveniently manage the cars. So we're just inside the front door here, and look what you're presented with. Look at that. Double level height ceiling here in the foyer. Beautiful chandelier. Take you all the way down to the hardwoods. Look at that, got a herringbone pattern going on there. And those are genuine hardwoods that, some people are going to call them sand on site or sand and finished. They're not engineered wood. Those are actually installed here on site. They sand them and finish and put the poly coat right there during construction. To the right, you've got an office. Got built-ins behind. Double doors so you can close it off if you need to maybe control some volume. Or maybe you just want a little bit of privacy in there. Got the vault ceiling as well. Look at all that crown molding. Across from the office, you have the formal dining room. Entrance is a cased opening there. Look at that, got the coffered ceiling going on. No matter how many coffers you see, those are still beautiful. Size-wise, take note of the table, that's an 8-person table there. Sometimes when people are evaluating dining rooms, the question comes up, what kind of table or what size table will fit in there and how many, people can be seated. So just keep in mind that is 8, because some dining rooms, you might be limited to maybe a 6-person table. Got the beautiful wainscoting on the walls there. Makes an awesome presentation. Have your powder on the right, convenient for all your guests. And look at that, just opens up to open living. And that, that is such the trend and such the demand now. Everybody wants to stay connected, which makes sense. No matter if you're living everyday life or if you're entertaining, why fragment the groups? Keep everybody together. So much action goes on in the kitchen. We like to think that's where everything is cooked and baked, and it is, but that's also where everybody gathers, and so the size of the island, look how large that is. You've got 3 seats there. You could probably put another one in there to make 4. Underneath, you also have functioning cabinets for additional storage under there. So everybody stays connected there. Plenty of storage. It's nice they put drawers there too. It's easy to go into a home and just kind of look and absorb, okay, they've got cabinets. But look at the configuration sometimes and, see if that matches with how you live. Some people prefer a lot of drawers and some people just want cabinet doors. But look at that. This range is flanked with 2 stacks of drawers. Go over to the double oven in the wall, microwave in the cabinet. To the right, we've got a huge walk-in pantry. Look at all the storage. And it's nice that they built, the shelves so far up as well. Sometimes you'll see storage rooms, whether they be literal storage rooms or pantries, and they kind of fall short. They don't build this high up. So it's nice to see that they took advantage of the storage. Rolling baskets down there. Just to circle around, just to give you perspective. And I usually like to remind people, the still photographs are awesome, for showing a home. But it's also nice to see a video so you can get a relationship on how the rooms actually connect. So between the dining and the kitchen, you've got your pantry on your left. Then you also have this bar area. Kind of like a butler's pantry a little bit. You can make it what you like. Could be your coffee station. Could be your wine station. You can kind of make that what you'd like. Nice thing with those black countertops too, if you want to do any design changes, that black is so universal. It goes with so many different finishes that'd be one thing you wouldn't have to change. Have your open living space, fireplace, TV above, flanked by 2 built-ins. Again, look at all the crown molding. Got the coffer ceiling. When people are trying to compare homes, whether it be apples to apples or apples to oranges, a lot of times it can come down to, the amount of trim that is in a home. Plenty of space for informal dining, or with a table this large, this could actually become your formal dining too. It could be maybe somebody needs a second office and wants to turn the dining room into an office or something like that. You notice how bright the home is too. Right here in this area, in the living space, you have that whole wall that's virtually a bank of windows right there. That's an access door to the garage right there. So you have convenient, kind of what we call a drop zone. Everybody comes in and drops their things, whether it be shoes, jackets, backpacks, sports equipment. Plenty of space in this one. Look at all the hooks for all the jackets and backpacks. And maybe you can get lucky and everybody drops it there and doesn't carry it through the house. We know that's always the case, right? Go into your laundry. Look at that. You got your nice base cabinet. You've got your sink with a sprayer there. Upper cabinet storage. Plenty of space. You even have window leading out to the covered porch. Now this is where so much of your time is going to be spent, right here. That covered porch, brick siding, you got your beadboard ceiling, ceiling fan. You know, and in Tennessee, our seasons are such that, you know, you can spend almost all 4 seasons out here. And I like to point out to people, our winters get a little cold, but on average, they're pretty mild. So some of your winter days you could even spend out here. Fire up that cozy fireplace. Turn on the TV there. And for those times you want to enjoy the open air, look at that. The covered porch goes right down to a Trex covered open air deck. Look at that. And for even additional space, you got your concrete patio. Look at that backyard. It's nice too when they developed Tuscany Hills that they tried to the best they could to leave mature trees behind each set of homes. So it serves as a bit of a buffer between anything behind and the home you're in. Look at that. Beautiful. And yes, it'd be beautiful with a pool too, for those who are curious. So as you look at this, you can imagine how nice the get-togethers and the entertaining and even everyday family life. You know, everybody stays centralized. But for those times when you do want a little distance, there's an upstairs bonus living space as well. So just off the living space, got a short hallway that leads to the primary bedroom. Look at that. Another coffered ceiling and a diamond pattern. Isn't that just gorgeous? You know, it's nice to see the homes with so much character and so much trim and molding design in them. You know, you go to some and they might be a little bit more contemporary, but sometimes the lack of molding in a home can also seem a little stark. Just kind of a preference thing. All the plantation shutters. Hardwoods continue into the primary bedroom. Look at that, works great when you place the bed on a large area rug. Go into the primary bath. You have a standalone tub along with a walk-in shower. Just check out that plumbing fixture. Isn't that cool? Got the sprayer and everything. That is awesome. Got double vanities. Plenty of storage. Got your plate mirrors flanked with lanterns. And again, look at the extent of the molding. I mean, all the way into the primary bathroom. walk-in shower, frameless glass door. Got your rain head, your valve control, built-in bench. Continues into the primary closet. And look at that. Look how well designed that is. And we always talk about the closets. You know, you want plenty of space for shoes. You want, space for folded clothes. You got your drawer stack. And everybody varies, on how much half height or full length hanging they need. But look at that. That is so versatile. And I like how far up the storage went. Much like we were just talking about in the pantry. Sometimes they abbreviate that and stop a little short, and then you have a lot of room up there that's just kind of wasted, but not this one. Very nice. Very logical layout as well. So we're leaving the primary, we're going back to the living space. We're going to head upstairs to give you a view of secondaries and the bonus area. Okay, just to give you an idea of the staircase, it's a switchback, all hardwood treads. And you come up to this beautiful landing. Look at that, all hardwoods. Balcony, you get to overlook the foyer. And first thing on the right, you have your first secondary bedroom here on the left, and we're actually walking toward the front of the home here. Look at that. Large windows, you get plenty of daylight. Got the plantation shutters. Tray ceiling with double crown. Talking about those plantation shutters, anybody who has ever moved into a home knows that one of the first things they think about is going to be the window treatments, whether it be drapes, plantation shutters, or what have you. So by having those in place with a new home is just a game changer. It just saves you not only the expense, but it saves you the production time, the installation. It's just turnkey and ready to roll. Your tile floors. Color of the vanity was kind of like a deep mocha type color. Got your granite countertop. In combination, you've got your walk-in closet, plenty of hanging. A storage stack, whether you want that to be used as like a linen closet or shoes. Great storage. Continuing down the hallway, and again you got hardwoods that continue here. Got another secondary bedroom right here on the right. Look at that entrance. It's nice how it's almost like this little hallway that leads to the bedroom here. Got a dedicated bathroom on the right. Same thing, you've got the tray ceiling, double crown molding, ceiling fan. And these are spacious secondary bedrooms. Now if you look, you've got the bed. Look how wide the nightstands are. Those are extra wide nightstands, and you've got one on each side, and you still have plenty of space. You have a walk-in closet on your right. All the hanging. Look at that, storage goes all the way up. Really good design. Got your built-in stack that could be for shoes, or like they have, you got basket storage. Turn the corner, we go into the third secondary bedroom on the second level. Immediately on your left, you have your walk-in closet. A lot of storage there. And if you've toured enough homes, you know that storage in secondary bedrooms can vary a lot. So when you see a closet, a walk-in that's that large, that is just awesome. Also a tray ceiling, double crown ceiling fan. Got your dedicated bathroom. Let's check out the floor style. Vanity is also like a deep mocha. Granite countertop. Beautiful. So we're looking down the hallway back at the staircase. I'm going to turn right. Look at this. This is the room everybody will want to be in. Look at that. And look how much space you have even around the sofa. Look how wide that is. Got room for storage furniture. Even if you wanted to come in and do another built-in on that wall, you could. You're probably imagining right now what you would do in this room, wouldn't you? Would you keep the couch the same, or would you change that? Look how much room there is all the way around it. So it's one of those perfect rooms. They've got it set up with some children's toys. You got a drum set. So you could set that up any way you wanted. It could be, for family activities, solely for watching TV. Or on the flip side, you could set it up as a media room, and have a dedicated space just for watching movies. So this is upstairs on the second level. And we're back to the landing. Beautiful layout upstairs. And it's so logical. You see so many different layouts, but it's so logical the way the rooms are laid out. And having that bonus area up here, it gives people a second space to get away. Like we talked about downstairs, everybody wants to stay connected until they don't, right? So the upstairs space gives another alternative. So when maybe one group is down here, either watching TV or maybe just talking, the upstairs space gives an alternative getaway. Give you another shot of that kitchen. Everybody's always curious about the kitchen spaces. Okay, so that's a tour of 1738 Fontanella Drive. And again, that's in the Tuscany Hills community right here in Brentwood, Tennessee. If you have any questions about the property or any other property in general, give me a shout. My name again is Sean Larson, real estate broker here in Middle Tennessee and the 38 Florida market. And I hope you have a fantastic day.